We're on Eruvin Perek Tet Mishnah Dalet. It's a short perek, so this is the last Mishnah in Perek Tet of Eruvin. Says the Mishnah, Haboneh aliyah al gabei shnei batim. If I have two houses that are across from each other on two sides of Reshut Rabim, you can't see me, two sides of Reshut Rabim, and I build an aliyah, I build a loft above the two. V'chein, similarly, gisharim hamufulashim. Mufulash means it goes straight across. So a bridge that goes straight across Reshut Rabim. Metaltalim tachteim b'Shabbat divrei Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says I could carry under these things on Shabbat. Let's see a picture to see what we're talking about here. Okay, this is if I have. Let me see. Here we are. Okay, if I have boneh aliyah, I built an aliyah from one side of Reshut Rabim to another. So we're in Mea Sharim here, and somebody decided to build a cross. It's really easy to imagine they would actually do this. Somebody decided to build an aliyah, here we go, make it a little bigger, across from one side to the other. Why? How can I do it? Because you have two walls on this side, you have two walls on each side, and then you have a rule called Pi Tikra Yered V'Sotem. These walls above are imaginary walls, okay, on either side. So these imaginary walls, halachically, they descend to the ground. So even though I could walk straight through, halachically I have four walls across, so therefore I'm allowed to carry, even if it's more than 4 amot, under there, because it's considered enclosure, it's considered four walls. Let's see this in the Bartanura. Why? The Pitikra, Mikan, Mikan or Mikan, Yered V'Sotem. That's the rule of Pitikra, Yered V'Sotem. The same thing is Gisharim Mufulashim. Okay, if we look at the bridge goes across the Reshut Rabim. Nonetheless, I've got wall on here, and this wall is Pitikra. Here we have the rule Pitikra Yered V'Sotem. Okay, that's the halacha. V'chachamim osrim. Chachamim say no way. It doesn't work that way because you don't say Pitikra Yered V'Sotem. Since you can't say Pitikra Yered V'Sotem because look, it's open all the way. So you can't apply the rule of Pitikra Yered V'Sotem if it's totally open on both sides. This isn't an enclosed area. I don't know. See, Chachamim seem a little more logical. This is one of the cases where you would say, wait, we have a halachic principle, apply it, and the Chachamim say, you can't apply halachic principle if you've just got a bridge. It doesn't seem, that's not an enclosed area. Similarly, Rabbi Yehuda says similarly, Me'arvin lemavoy mefulash. Let's have a mavoy. We've seen this case before. So imagine, take away this tzurat petach. Imagine that this tzurat petach is not there. If I have a mavoy that's totally open, and I put a lechi here and a lechi here, is a mavoy that's mefulash, that's open on both sides? Remember, we're imagining this isn't here. Is that considered a mavoy or not? So Rabbi Yehuda says, yeah, both sides, two sides enough. I think that you have a fundamental machloket between Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim. Our two walls, if you have two walls, is that considered like a structure? So do I need two more real walls or two more symbolic walls? So Rabbi Yehuda would seem to say that two walls, it's really interesting. You have to think about it. The more you think about it, Rabbi Yehuda say, look, I just have these two walls. But in your mind, you do imagine that it's like an enclosure. So so therefore, the mavur, the lechi, is just here is symbolic, but really, it is considered like an enclosure. And the Chachamim say, no, it's open on two sides. So you can't say that it's like a building. It's not like a building. It's just an interesting machloket. So Rabbi Yehuda says, ma'arvin lemavui mefulash. I can make an eruv in an open mavui, as long as, of course, if I put the lechi on both sides. The Chachamim say, no, that doesn't work. You cannot, if you only put a lechi on each side or a kara across, it doesn't work unless you put a tzurat petach, because the tzurat petach, that is a third wall. It's not just like a third wall, it is a third wall. And then the mavui is not mefulash. Very interesting machlokah between the two opinions. You have to think about it and ask yourself, which is obvious and which is interesting. And I don't think either one is more obvious than the other in this case. We'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha Yitzchak Kalman, and you can email me if you have comments or questions. Have a good day.